Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about tonight because you're getting two for the price of one here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and wrestling matters, Sportswire Radio. And I'm here with a man that, well, not just shocked me, not just all of the LBYW faithful and all of backyard and independent wrestling, but maybe everybody that was there, including his opponent, Kurt Adams, and how he thanked him and endorsed him as the face of America. And we're going to talk about what happened at Haunted Hellfest 5. We're going to talk about what that psychotic freak said here on Monday, saying our guest is a bully, and also how the psychotic freak blames the fans for the state he's been in. And also, what does our guest now think about those Reapers? Because they've expanded, and is it addition by subtraction? I'll ask this man. I'll also talk about that 455-day reign and talk about the greatest run, maybe of anybody of all time, and maybe kind of the irony. Election day was this past Tuesday, and our guest lost his seat a few days earlier, but maybe the tea leaves, if you know what I'm saying, were read, and that may lead to a different future, a better future, a brighter day. Maybe Kurt Adams is that. I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about what's next for the former face of America. And he says it on the screen, his title happily retired, but what does that mean, though, for the future of those Reapers? I'm going to talk about that. I'm also going to announce another Reaper that's in the group who just joined is going to be returning to Sportswire Radio, and who knows whatever else. But it's time to start this show off here in style. And even though this man doesn't like my tomahawk chops, I have to give it to him because, as I was telling him off the air, when Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad, we're an American band, the irony, right? Former face of America, the man who wrote We're an American Band, liked the tomahawk chop, liked the intro. We have to give it to everybody. But let's start this show off here in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one level radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show, the man that was famously the face of America during not one but two presidential administrations. For 455 days, he was the LBYW United States champion, the man that was at the helm of PBS, and also a part of one of the most dominant groups in all of wrestling history, those North Dakota Reapers. His name is simply put, the way. Willster. My friend, how are we doing?
I don't know. How are you doing? You sound, I don't know. You got any energy left after that one? That was a good one.
Oh, I have Anthony Steele in a few hours. I got to do this.
You got to have a lot of energy for that guy, for sure.
Yeah, and he's been chopping at the bit. He's more humble these days, so I'm going to have to, really dive in.
I understand that. I can understand that. I can
Yeah,
understand that. Also, but remember, not only do Atlanta Braves fans live here, if you'll see behind me, Bulldog
Georgia
fans live
Bulldog. Yes, yes. We're gonna. I'm
finally
glad
put.
you have an Atlanta Braves hat, not Atlanta Falcons hat on it.
I
Considering
would never own that to save my life. I would probably never. That is that would be one of the worst purchases you could ever make in your
between the
life.
Falcons and the Giants these last few weeks, I don't know who's worse. At least, being here in New York, I can always say, well, the Giants play in New Jersey. I mean, which technically is true. I've
Well,
always,
I'll even
growing up as a kid in Brooklyn,
right.
I never really identified as much with the Giants and Jets because New Jersey seemed like a million miles away. So when I was
Right.
growing up playing in the street, people would talk about the Giants and Jets, and they played New Jersey, but with the Falcons,
Right.
I mean, they're in Atlanta with nothing we could do.
Well, at least the Giants have an excuse. I mean, they've lost Gadaboo for the whole year. Jackson
Yeah.
Dart looks like he's got a concussion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
You've lost Malik Neighbors, so that's three major players of your team. The Falcons, really, all there is to it. The Falcons just absolutely suck. They're a poorly managed, they're a poorly coached team. I wish to God we could have left Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I'm surprised more.
And
Listen,
brought the rest of the
I'm
team here
surprised
because the defense played great. But
yeah, I'm surprised Morris actually came back for this season because the last couple of years, the NFC South really was written for the Atlanta Falcons to win that division. But that's for a different show and a different time. And I'm going to get to it right away because we have a super chat and I don't get them every time. Your very, very special friend wanted to say that you were and always will be a key factor regardless to all of the opponents. And I think that is in reference to those Reavers. Yeah. Well, we will get to that.
She still Mrs. Face of America, regardless of what happened to me.
You know what? I wouldn't argue that whatsoever. You have definitely got the first.
You're never going to argue with a face that beautiful right there, man. Look at those eyes. Right
listen, Ivanka and listen, Melania have nothing on the Mrs. First Lady of America. Absolutely. But well, I listen. I am gonna go leave that at that. We thank her. Thank you so much for tuning in. But I have a lot to get into with you here tonight, and I'm gonna start right off the top here. For those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, the Willster, and LBYW have certainly helped build, Sportzwire Radio. Why did you endorse the backbone of the backyard, Kurt Adams, as the new face of America?
Well, before I answer that, I want to start off by saying, number one, I appreciate the fact you're drinking out of a Dixie cup. I'm going to make you a Southerner before it's all over with you, man. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the greatest mutton chops in all of history. Give it up for him. The Reverend Tom Price, the owner of Sportzwire Radio. Now, that's the introduction that you should be getting from your people that come on here with you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm asking Anthony Steele that tonight. I don't think I'm going to do that, but I appreciate that nevertheless.
Yeah. Well, now, as far as the question you asked, number one, I went into this match, okay, with the utmost of confidence because number one, I'd been the champion for 455 days. I had beaten everybody. I'd beaten them in various locations. Me and my then compadres even drove to South Dakota, beat them up pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'd beaten them all. Beating them on the Capitol grounds. I had beaten just about everybody. You know what I mean? I'm surprised we didn't get put in jail for that. But anyway, but I will say this. I'll start off from as far as Kurt Adams goes.
Yeah.
Kurt Adams is somebody I can go ahead and tell you and I'm sure the psychotic freak will take exception to this because he's that insecure in his own body. I'm sure he'll have something to say about it. He is the most intense, physical, most unbelievable opponent that I have ever stepped in the ring with in my entire life. I'll say that right now. beyond a
Wow.
shadow of a doubt. However, the I will say this, greatest costume of all time. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean,
Yeah, I
greatest.
mean the way it started. Listen, that's why I asked that question because I mean you were in rare form. I mean, you even had someone come out and introduce you, whether you paid them
Yes,
$20 or not. I mean, it was quite the start. I mean,
it was
I
20.
don't
It
think
was it was 40. But hey, what are you gonna do? I mean,
yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think anybody would have ever envisioned the outcome of the match and what happened afterwards just because of what you said on here. You've pinned Kurt Adams a month
I did.
prior. And you have been in rare form. I mean, that's why I'm totally taken aback by those events that unfolded here at Haunted Hellfest 5 last week.
I can honestly also say this: that is the one and only time you will ever see that costume worn ever again. That will never. That costume has been retired to the waste bucket of America. That right there is, beyond a shadow of a doubt, one of easily the biggest atrocities you'll ever see
Something
on
tells
television.
me that the first lady here in the chat does not approve of you wearing it again. I think that's a good.
Absolutely not. Yeah, that's not ever happening again. But when I went into this match, remember I told you, I was like, I was so confident because I beat this dude down pretty bad. Also, I'd like to shout out congratulations for Chris Arruda, the Hall of Famer, being our official that night. He really did a really good job.
Yes.
Yeah, he did a wonderful
Of
job.
course, the legendary multi-time Hall of Famer, Chris Arruda.
Multi-time Hall of Famer. I beat Kurt in the war match. I beat him pretty badly, embarrassed him, in front of everybody. He's coming to run out with all that energy that he's so known for. And I got in there, I'm thinking this guy is completely over his head. He's got the fans. The fans are behind him. We had a good turnout that night. Look at all that. I mean, we had a
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys had a great crowd. I mean, the crowd was really behind you guys. No question.
The fans really, really came out tonight. It was really awesome. It was cold too. I mean, the weather did not.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. I think last year you had a little bit of a warmer.
Yeah, we
weather,
did. It was a warmer Halloween last year, but this past year, man, you want to talk about what you don't see is about probably 25 minutes ago, 25 minutes prior to that, maybe a half hour, it actually rained a pretty good bit. And it was one of those cold rains up in North Dakota. Now, if you look at the backdrop, though, we ended up having a really, really good sunset. It was a beautiful sunset that night. It was cold, but so, I'm on my one knee. I'm thinking, this guy is full of energy. This guy has no idea what he's going to do. And basically, I said, I'm going to beat you with one hand tied behind my back.
Right.
There's no way you can beat me. I will beat you with one hand tied behind my back on one knee. I was that confident I was going to beat this guy.
Well, you said it on here. You've been on here, I think, like 3 or 4 times.
And now the first one that he hit me with, it shocked me. I'm like, okay, well
I think different. I wouldn't blame you.
That was different. I was like, that was different. So, I'm trying to get to my feet
That's
now.
Two. That's two. That's two.
No, he hits me with the second one, and then I was really starting to feel it.
No, like, okay, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
And I'm in trouble now. You know what I mean? That's for sure. And I'm like, well, there's no way this dude. I mean, and then
my God, that's great. Listen, that's it. 1, 2, 3, and right there, and that's it. That's it.
That was it. And it was almost like when he hit me with that third one, right?
Yeah.
My entire career like flashed, at one point. The finality of it really kind of set in. I'm like, wow, this dude. I'd never been hit by that hard by any competitor in my life. Number one, in that match I had with a psychotic freak a couple years ago.
Yep.
At Hellfest 3.
Yes.
That guy laid it in on me and beat me up pretty badly. I mean, and he keep one thing in mind. He jumped off a 7-foot ladder, hit me with the elbow drop through the table, and even that to the ribs did not hurt as bad as getting kicked to the face 3 times that quickly. And I know what you're seeing on right now on the images it just seemed like it happened so quickly to me, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
bam, bam, bam.
And
I did not have any idea. But here's the thing. After I lost, what
We're gonna put the
What he-
volume up here
what-
shortly. 'Cause I want to put that volume up, and I want to get your reaction here. 'Cause we're gonna do that right now for the audience.
Okay.
Whether we love him or hate him, for 400 and something days, he carried the U.S. division on his back. Let's give it up for the Willster. Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah, there is no giving it up for Mr. Rivers.
No.
Rivers.
Hold on. Give me that damn belt.
Whoa, hey.
You earned it.
You earned it.
Wow.
Whoa!
Wow.
This is the new face of America right here.
Are
Wow!
you kidding? Who is this guy?
What?
This is the guy right here that's going to lead backyard wrestling into the future. Yeah. This is the man right here. Okay? Right here. You're the man.
You're the man.
What the hell?
Wow.
The Willster just
That
gave his
wasn't on
props
anybody's bingo card.
and endorsed
there you
this
have it.
man.
There you go.
What?
So,
Wow.
and the thing about it is, it really kind of hit me all at one time because this dude. Oh, it's funny because, and I hate to use a main roster company situation about that. Let's use Hogan and The Rock from back in 2002, for example.
Yep. WrestleMania.
You know, Hogan comes to the WWE, brings NWO to the WWE,
Correct.
runs over The Rock with a semi, by the way. I would just like to say that. And they face each other in a match, right? But at the end of it, Hogan realized that he'd been doing it the wrong way. He'd been going about it the wrong way. He'd been doing everything the wrong way over the course of time. And he realized that The Rock was the future of wrestling. Kurt Adams, I could not have more respect if you're seeing this. I just want to tell you this, Kurt. I could not have more respect for you than I have right now. You are an unbelievable human being, a competitor first. And I also want to reveal something. I'm not gonna read it, but a couple days afterwards, he sent me a text message, and the text message was very professional, very nice, very warm, and very decent. You know, he said he appreciated being in the ring with me. The relationship wasn't good at the beginning, but now I think personally, through everything that we've been through, I would consider Kurt a brother now. I'll just put it to you like that.
Wow.
I would consider Kurt a brother, and he deserves to be the United States champion. And he may not want to hear it. Everybody else might not want to hear it because there's a lot of distrust for me in the community still, and they have every right to do that because I was the centerpiece of hurting a lot of people. I'm
floored. Floored is an understatement tonight, the Willster. What you hear time and time again talked about with Kurt Adams, you wanted to end that man's career, and you pinned him a month ago at War. It seemed like you were on track for that, and now all of a sudden, you consider him a brother? This is one of the biggest 360s I've ever heard in my life.
That's right. I would consider him. He's the future. He's young. He's got his whole life ahead of him. If you knew who he was as the person, you'd be like, yeah. I'll go ahead and go further. If I had a daughter, that is exactly the kind of guy I'd want my daughter to bring home right now.
Wow! The Willster!
I'm telling you right now.
You totally. I mean, yesterday we were talking about how it seemed like Anthony Steele and Sean Jovi had traded places, and all of a sudden it seems like you've definitely taken that famous movie with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd trading places, and I'm talking to a different person here because you would never, I don't think anybody would have expected in a million years you would have said the same things you just said about Kurt Adams, and you even said that if you had a daughter, you would want that daughter to marry a man that you wanted to put in the grave and put his BYW career in the grave in Kurt Adams.
That's right. because I, unlike a lot of people on this roster, I am man enough to admit where I was wrong. I am where I was wrong. Now, hold on, though. Now, Campbell County in South Dakota is still a two-bit town where who knows where it is. I'll just leave it at that. But the fact of the matter is this. I mean, come on, you just had to have been there, brother. When you're across the street from like a cornfield and you're thinking to yourself, man, you really got to get out of here, man, or something bad's going to happen. I'm just saying. But as far as that guy right there goes, I mean, I was the champion. Just like I said there, I give the utmost respect for the new BYW United States champion. Through combat, you helped me realize that there's a better way. You earned it. Who knows? Perhaps we can work together now for a better backyard, for a better path to the future. I mean, that's, so now, I will say this. I think Haunted Hellfest 5, our show, our swan song as a company was outstanding. What a turnout we had.
Me too. I agree with that.
And, we're on different sides of the fence now. But if you look at the show, I believe that Napalm's open challenge match against Steven, a.k.a. Bane X, was the best
match my God, what a match.
The card, bar none. I mean, because,
how about that opener, too? Listen, how about the tag championship match? I mean, listen, there's a lot.
There's a lot in that
and we're going to be talking a lot more continued over the next few weeks and probably into the year of Haunted Hellfest 5. But I mean, if you guys went out this way, I mean, there's almost no better way to go out if you think about it, because of the opening of the show with the Alpha and Riley Bates. We're going to definitely talk about that in a few minutes. Obviously, the tag championship match, and obviously we know what those frigid Vikings fought for. And Sistine, I know Mr. Freak is here. And then certainly Napalm's open challenge. I mean, there is so much. The Rumble. I mean, it's an unbelievable. I mean, listen, even Nate Dogg and Scary Terry. I mean, there's just
that match was surprisingly a lot better than I thought it
was. You know what? I mean, to me, it was literally banger after banger. I mean, this is I couldn't think of a better way to go out for a company in LBYW than Haunted Hellfest 5, and doing that in front of the fans. You guys had a live audience. I mean, you had a lot of people, a bigger turnout this year than last year. And that's with the weather conditions. Last year, the weather was beautiful. This year, not so much.
No. So I would say the roster all should pat themselves on the back. They should all have their flowers for the entire thing. But I'll say this, though. I met this dude, CJ the Alpha Junt, 6 years ago.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, you might have heard of him. He's whatever. And I initially, was going to offer him advice. I mean, I had a lot of success down south, all of that, and he didn't take me up on it. And then we went into, arguably, in my opinion, probably one of the longest blood feuds you've ever seen.
You did. We talked about that in the past here. Absolutely.
And I would also like to add one more title, humbly. I was the president of LBYW there for probably about 7 months now.
I remember that. Yes, I do. Yes.
Arguably, by the way, if you go look at our subscriber count, when CJ lost the match, which cost him the company and the whole thing, we were at about 400 subscribers.
Yes.
I take over, and by the time we get to Hellfest, I guess it was what I've been part of. Let me see, 5, 4, 3. Hellfest 2. We were up to 1,000. I mean, I don't want to say anything, but I took it over, and we get 600 subscribers in 7 months.
Wow.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be, that dude that you talked to a few weeks ago that was full of himself and didn't care about anybody but himself and all of that. And like I said, there's been a lot of time, and I'm going to tell you something else.
Okay.
We brought up that lady up on the top of that screen.
Yes.
Okay. Going into that, she said a lot of stuff to me that made a lot of sense. That made me think.
She's here for you too, by the way.
It's absolutely. And I got to thinking, I'm like, I need to be a better example, as a competitor, as a brother, as a son, as a citizen of the United States, that somebody can look up to, as opposed to somebody that, Yes, we wanted to be successful in the wrestling business. We wanted to take it over. But the way you can that you can take over the wrestling business, you don't have to be a dick about it. Look at John Cena. As much as I don't particularly like
you mentioned
him.
Hogan. I mean, look, we know what Hogan would happen with him in '96, where he turned at Bash at the Beach, and eventually he saw his ways and changed.
He did, and Hogan, he ended up. So I am not.
Sting even turned a few times.
Sting,
it was.
Look at Cena. That was a complete failure. But anyway, that was terrible. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, I'm not the person that you guys have seen over the course of time. You know what I mean? And if it takes a long time to show the entire roster, that I'll do that. But if you don't mind me, I'd like to segue into probably what you're going to talk about next, which is this group that's been created.
Yes, you were a huge part of that. I
created. It was my idea.
Oh, okay.
It was mine. I was the original. If you'll notice, during that entire season, CJ and Napalm got phone calls over and over and over and over and over. They kept getting phone calls from somebody, right? That phone call was from me. Okay. I was the one that made those phone calls to those dudes. And they didn't want to have anything to do with me. If you saw, there was little parts of it to where they slowly, and then that led us to.
But I asked the Alpha about that here on Sportswire in the summer. He said, "Listen, that this came up, and you all were a part of the group, and you put the past. You also referenced the past that you had, and it was put to the side. You also had your issues with Napalm, and it was put to the side for what you guys had achieved throughout this past year."
And if you'll notice, once we became a group, we were unstoppable at the beginning.
Yes.
Nobody beat us. We had we had the tag team championships. I had the United States title. CJ was world. Napalm was interstate champion. We had everything. You know what I mean? But we did it by fear, being devious, horrible human beings that didn't give a damn about anybody else's welfare but our own. Now,
but in the sport, don't they always say it's a dog-eat-dog competition?
It is sometimes, but yeah, that's true. But you can also be a decent human being, but be aggressive when you need to be. And now the freak had it coming. All right, the freak broke into my house twice.
You and him have quite a checkered past. Let me
okay, so back in January,
yes, I remember that
when we beat his punk ass down for breaking into my apartment. He's lucky that's all he got. We beat his ass down. We and he deserved it. All right, he deserved it. And now look at what he's doing now. He thinks that he's going to change the backyard wrestling business. He thinks that that's what he's going to do, that he has decided to latch on to somebody who really, I can tell you right now, that group doesn't give a damn about him. All they want. But
if you can't beat him, join him. What do you think about that?
I guess. But that tells me how small of a man he is by doing something like that.
But he said the fans have turned on him. He blamed the fans for this. What do you think about him talking about the fans and how they didn't respect what he's went through to go out there and represent LBYW? He talked about Just Ice and just how they seem to cheer for her rather than what he went through. And that's in part to his decision of joining the Reapers.
Number one, Just Ice has more wrestling ability in her left arm than he does have in his whole body. She is stronger than 99% of the men on that roster.
I would agree with that.
I can't prove it, but at Haunted Hellfest 2, I still think she got a concussion. But the bottom line is this: that girl is smart. She's a decent human being, and she could tell what was going on with this dude. From the get-go, she could tell.
Well, he said though that she didn't want to tag him in. Though we go back to war, you were on the opposing side at that time, and he showed the footage. And there was a point he made that she would not tag him in.
Well, she didn't tag him in, number one, because she figured she couldn't trust the guy. And she was justified because he walked out on her, for God's sakes. He completely walked out on her.
So what do you think about him
And
fighting through? But what about how the doctors in this match several minutes earlier basically said, don't continue. And he went out there to compete. He went out there, and shouldn't the fans, some would say, maybe get behind him for that heart? But it didn't matter. What's your thoughts on that?
I think he didn't take time to listen to the fans. If you could listen to the fans, I don't think the fans were against the Freak at all. I think they appreciated the hell out of what he was doing. I think it was incredibly short-sighted to go out there with the injury that he had. Now, keep one thing in mind. Showtime beat his punk ass down too, prior to them forming a tag team. And that's all right. And I have no ill will towards Showtime at all. Showtime, unfortunately, found out what kind of person he is. Me and Showtime parted on good terms. There's no bad.
Yes, you had talked about that. You had famously said that you had no issues with Showtime, and that was that.
The thing that gets me what's happening now, what happened at the end of that show, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was one of the best ones we'd ever put out.
Me too.
But my question to CJ is that really how you want the company that you founded, that you created, to end? With that horrible, nasty, miserable ending, to where, and by the way, I also want to shout out to Jenny, who's given me a lot of heat over the years.
Yes, okay, Jenny has definitely been vocal about you many times.
Jenny, Miss Jenny, you had every right. Yes, she had every right to. Okay, she had every right to do that. Okay, I mean, especially what was going on. She had every right to boo me. So, I like I said, I apologize to the entire community.
Wow, I'm shocked. This is, this is totally out of left field. I did not expect you to apologize to anybody here tonight. Reflective, okay, but
I will. And I'll give. And by the way, I also want to say, I appreciate you for doing that for that young lady, Sistine's family. That was very awesome. And I also want to shout out to
last night. Yeah, Sistine, so sad. Unfortunately, last night on Sportzwire was similar. Go ahead.
I also want to say, I'd like to take a moment to shout out to Ragnarok or Chase.
Yes,
because it took a lot of guts for him to come up there at the beginning of our show to talk like that. He didn't think. He kept worried. He's like, man, Will, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. I said, yeah, you can. I said, all you got to do is come up there and tell the people how you feel. And you can get into tell them how much you love her and all of that. And he did, and he did a wonderful job. I don't think people give Chase a lot of credit, because Chase is somebody that he's incredibly strong in the ring. The guy can pick anybody up and put him on his back. But he always, he says he can't speak. He's not good on the mic. That dude has one of the best voices I've ever heard.
I've always told him that. I always welcome him anytime he wanted to come on. I know.
I mean, he deserves all the flowers. And like I said, also the whole family. I got to give. I'll go back to Chris Arruda real quick. Chris Arruda has a surgically repaired back. Okay.
We know his history with injuries.
Had a lot of back trouble. And, you don't want him moving around too much, but I will give him credit. In fact, the whole roster should give him credit for showing up to referee that whole show. When it's cold outside, I'm sure his back wasn't really, feeling the best. You know what I mean? But I'm glad he was able to do that for us. And I will say this about this group. This group has almost become like a murderous, hideous, awful group that I never could have created in my life, with all the bad deeds that I've done, all the dirty deeds that I've done, dirt cheap in this place. I like that music. But these people, you have CJ the Alpha Jaunt, who he retires as a champion. I see what you did there, pal. You got Napalm, who is way too gifted. He's way too gifted, way too special of an athlete.
By the way, how about his matches with Kurt Adams? What about his matches this year with Kurt
Yes.
Adams, some of the very best in the
There
backyard
you go.
this year?
There you go. You have Napalm, who, I'll say it on there, Dalton. You are way too special of a human being to be associated with this group of morons that are rolling around now. Okay, then you have Riley Bates. Okay,
The best in the 605.
number one, I don't know how. No, he's not. He's the biggest kiss ass in the 605 because he latched on to somebody. I don't care. I mean, he and I'm trying to be humble and modest here. I've never seen anybody, number one, have his shirt off that long because he looks like a human jar of Hellman's. That's some of the worst I have ever seen. He put Sheamus, I mean, just horrible. And then you have the Psychotic Freak. You see Psychotic Freak Chris, because I
Chris.
know you. Okay. Oh yeah. You say I'm breaking the fourth wall. Okay. Here's the thing, Freak. You ran your mouth again. Okay, and it's funny how this dude. And I'll give this guy credit. He seems like he's finally thinking. He must be finally on his medication, because beforehand, the Freak you saw. I mean, if you go back years. Oh, seriously, the Freak you saw 3 years ago was absolutely, there were voices in his head.
I remember. Yes, I remember. He was laughing throughout the whole interview. The first time I had him on here, he was just laughing repeatedly.
Yeah, and then look at these morons. I mean, look at these guys. I mean, you got CJ who, he got a little cuddy wuddy on his forehead, dressing like the Joker, with an Air Jordan shirt on. And then you got Riley Bates in there doing something. I mean, I you know what? I'm going to say this right. I would love to get my hands on that little bastard Riley Bates.
What?
I really would.
I thought you're happily retired.
I'm happily retired, but that doesn't mean I won't whoop a man's ass still. Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, and we'll do it the right way. Okay, if I have to reach out to, the people that are still there, and they might rebuke me. They might say, "To hell with you, Willster. Look at what you all did to us." But look at what they did to them. Look at him. He's walking around with that stupid insane asylum suit he had from that match he had against me that I smeared his blood in about 2 years ago. But
look at the standing tall. Is it addition by subtraction? I mean, look at this right now.
No, it's not. It's not, Tom. It took them literally adding two people to add one of me. 2 people to add one of me. One. So, the only thing that the Freak had right in that whole little stupid promo he cut was that Bismarck does suck, but Mobridge sucks too, as far as towns go. But anyway, these guys right here, is this how you really want your company to end, CJ? The one that you founded, that you made successful by sacrifice, and everything. Is this really how you want your company to end, just like this? To see these guys, be this Temu version of the Reapers. That's what you see right there. Temu Reapers right there.
They're growing, but look at what they've become. I mean, that's I guess
throwing all that crap in the ring. That crap in the ring symbolizes what these people think about these guys. Okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what? If I see the Freak, if I ever see him, I'll smack him upside his stupid face. I mean, I'll smack the hell. And now, as far as that guy goes, all right, CJ, you're better than that. And Riley Bates, you're just a little punk bitch. And as far as Napalm goes, I know you're better than that, dude. You're like, best interstate champion of all time. But you got these morons that's standing tall right here. Chris Arruda, who's a Hall of Famer, he can't believe it. You know what I mean? But here's the way I look at it. You're looking at these 4 guys right here are the Temu Reapers. That was the idea that came from my mind Me. I was
Well,
the
what do
one.
you think happens then with them? You know, the Psychotic Freak was here on Monday's show, and he certainly talked about going elsewhere. He said he's a free agent, and he was looking at other places. He mentioned a name in particular, named Comatose, and we know Riley Bates is still a part of SBW, but what do you think happens with these four men going forward in the future?
Okay, Freak. Are you really a free agent, though? Are you, though? Because it sounds to me, by joining this group here, which I saw the light and basically decided to do what's correct in this world. Freak, are you really a free agent, or are you simply what you used to be? You basically used to be my bitch, Freak. You were at the very beginning. You worked for me. If you remember, I'm the one that bought your clothes, bought your food, gave you a place to live, a stupid phone you had to talk on, which you didn't pay the bill after you got out of it. And you got all these collector notices on you. So, Freak, are you a free agent, or do you go where CJ tells you to go? That's the question. All right. So I don't know when it'll occur. I have no idea. It may never occur. You never know. But I am going to sit here and think over the holidays. We got the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever.
Thanksgiving's in less than 3 weeks. Christmas is right after. Right. Yep, New Year, sure.
And we also have a big holiday coming up on January 6th. Obviously, that's my birthday. They ought to shut the whole country down for that.
We should. Well, let's not give people ideas. It was attempted to a few years ago, if you know what I mean.
I know. Yeah, I know. I get that part.
Not trying to make fun of it, people, but, it was right there for me to
it's my birthday. It was also Insurrection Day. Hello.
Well, if it makes you feel better, my birthday is October 7th. That's the same day that Hamas attacked Israel. So I get a lot of...
See, so we're...
So people, I do a lot of people who
potato, man.
Yeah, same
so
thing.
I'm going to think over the holidays, New Year's, and whatever. And after all that's over with, I think it's time to start making some phone calls and start to repair some relationships and friendships that I had. And it's really time, even if it's just a one-time deal, because that's all it's going to need. It's time for me to kill what I created.
Kill what you created? Did you just see what we played on the screen? There's 4 of them now.
I know there's 4 of them, but I guarantee you this. And I'm not trying to put names in anybody's mouth, but I guarantee you this. If I made a phone call to Kurt Adams, the backbone of the backyard, the new face of America, by the way, I bet you he'd be on board. I guarantee you.
We know his history with Riley Bates.
After what he saw there, I guarantee he'd be.
Okay.
There you go. So he'd be on board with that. It might take some time, and I don't know if I could, but because she used to be in my squad, I bet you Queen Justice would be up for that offer. That makes 3.
Yeah, that's 3.
Okay. And the 4th one, and really most important one, I bet you I can make a phone call to a certain guy named Showtime.
Ooh, we know his history. We know his history right now at the Psychotic Freak because Freak had a few things to say about him.
But this time, we're not sitting there trying to get any kind of glory. We are trying to cleanse the backyard timeline of this infection that's now been called, in my opinion, the Temu North Dakota Reapers.
But it seems to me, as we're here with the Willster, who is now happily retired, he was for 455 days the face of America, and he is the longest reigning LBYW U.S. champion in history. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voice figuratively and literally all music and wrestling matters. We'll get to everybody here in the chat in a minute, but it seems to me like you don't want LBYW to end this way. You don't want LBYW to have ended with chaos, the way Haunted Hellfest 5, that was the swan song. That was what would be the finality.
I remember, and before, hold on, a little bit of a sidebar. I heard it through the grapevine from sources because just because I'm not the face of it in America anymore doesn't mean I can't call anybody in the backyard wrestling community. I heard that, you had that freak on Monday night, and I'm sure that's probably life you can't get back. But anyway, the fact of the matter is you had him on there. And from what I understand, he was going to sit there and take the platform that you have provided for us for 2.5 years to help our product out, okay, to help us branch out through this way of media. And he's going to sit here and run you down. So here's the thing. If you I'll beat his ass for you, Tom. That's what I'll do. I don't have a problem doing that for you, brother.
I'm not going to confirm nor deny that, but I mean, I tell you,
that's all right.
I'm not going to confirm or deny, but it sounds to me, though, that you have unfinished business and you want to kill what you've created. That sounds accurate?
To, because nobody is going to succeed anymore in the backyard wrestling community in the upper Midwest. And God knows you got this freak talking about how he wants to wrestle all these other dudes, all these other competitors all over the place. He
mentioned one named Comatose who's within distance.
Comatose would beat the piss out of him.
And Comatose is a butcher, by the way. We were talking about that. He is a butcher in real life, and he can butcher his opponents as well in the ring. And I think that Mr. Freak seems to have established that's his bullseye right now. Comatose.
Just because. And if I'm correct, if you really want to get down to record-wise, even though he pulled the crap that he pulled and the Reapers did what they did at the end of that, he still lost the match, dude.
Yes, he did. Yes.
So you can talk about wins and losses and whatever, and I ended up being 1-3 at Hellfest is what it is. But, I mean, hey, and
and Queen Just Ice, by the way, and by the way, Queen Just Ice, we got to mention that. I mean, she's basically the Undertaker of Haunted Hellfest. She's the Undertaker of BYW. Yeah.
She doesn't lose. She's like, that's why if somebody had a Hall of Fame, stick her in the Hall of Fame. Huh?
Well, I mean, we'd always be welcome to that. And I see management wants to mention 2 names, but there was one name in particular on here that Mr. Freak had plenty of powder in his keg for, and that was Comatose. I wouldn't be able to speak on the other 2 names and the logistics of that. But
maybe the Willster could reach out to Comatose too and say, look.
Oh, he's going to be here this week. Comatose is going to be here this week to address that. That's why the other 2 names I wouldn't be able to comment on what they would think.
Right. So maybe I could reach out to this Comatose dude and we can compare notes and talk and say, look, man, this guy's been running his mouth about you for no reason. So these Reapers, how many of you got? 4 of them? In my opinion, you really only got 2. It's still Napalm and CJ because the other 2 bitches, you got one of them that are walking around with a set of friggin' bitch boobs that are white as snow.
Those are your words. Let's get to some comments here. Let's get to some comments. Man. Well, I don't think it's quite going to snow yet, but who knows? But Zilla's here first. Thank you, Zilla. And
thank you, Zilla. You know what? She's always been a fan. Yes. I would also like to apologize to Zilla.
Oh, it's very kind of you.
For being evil. That's not an example for somebody I want to, have follow me. But you know what, Zilla? Don't worry about the Reapers. They're a bunch of idiotic goofs. If you want to keep following the Willster, you can.
Well, I would remind you, I'm sure that those are reasons you have that maybe from your perspective valid, but I have received word that Mr. Riley Bates will be on here at some point this month to give his side of the story of why he aligned himself with the Alpha. And I'm sure that you'll be paying attention to that because he will address the group and he'll address his future and what's ahead. I think he's going to talk about that and probably respond to you a bit also.
Going to let you know that when he comes on there, he needs to make sure. If you want to do freak math, here's some more Willster math for you. All right. I think what Riley Bates needs to do is if you go to Costco and you buy a pallet of what do you call that stuff that you put on your lips? Chapstick.
Chapstick, yeah.
He'll probably not have any.
Lip balm is the other term people use.
Lip balm, Burt's Beeswax, whatever you want to call that crap. And he goes and buys a pallet of that. By the time he's on with you at the end of the month, he won't have any left from kissing CJ's ass as much as he's doing.
You know what? I'm not going there. And I remember as a kid.
You know it, CJ. I can match your ass word for word, you know darn good and well the match we had 3 years ago was one of the nastiest matches in the world. And yes, you tapped me out, but this is only after I had a chair lodged into my throat and I couldn't breathe. So big ups to you, CJ.
Well, we're not going to show that footage, but nevertheless, I'm not using chapstick anytime soon. And yes, we are very proud of the Willster. We are happy for him.
That was a
and
good one, by the way.
Freak says that you were nothing but a bum.
Okay, Chris. I guess you must have finally paid your internet bill to actually be able to, put a message up there. Okay.
Oh, he's not in your house.
And if you run your mouth about my lady, I'm gonna beat your ass tonight, pal. So
there's strong words here tonight. Listen, the Falcons lost, and now the Reapers. Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with the Willster. Also, I'm still on the side and an honorary member of the North Dakota Reapers, no matter what.
That's okay, Zilla, but just remember they're gonna leave you hanging when the times get tough. But go ahead, dear. That's okay.
and I haven't ate yet, but apparently the Psychotic Freak wants to compare what we saw to, you can read it right there. I'm going to say this. I want to apologize to the Psychotic Freak for not being a big fan of him. I'm sorry, Psychotic Freak. So are we good? And then he goes on to say that you're a smart person. Unlike the people that are around here, at least you can appreciate real talent. And the missus did want to say that I'll always root for you no matter what. Your uniform is really not that bad.
See.
And these ungrateful fans still hate you. Have no reason to talk about how good these people are, but you are being commended. You got a lot of comments here tonight. Let's get to more of them. I'm happy about that. I am still a big fan of the Psychotic Freak and the North Dakota Reapers, no matter what. Zilla, thank you for that. And management enjoy retirement, Willster. And hit the sub button for LBYW while you're at it. And hello to the enforcer of Sportswire Radio, Mr. Ox McCoy. Thank you so much for being here. And Zilla does want to say thank you to the Willster for everything throughout your entire career, your wrestling journey, and enjoy retirement. I have to ask you, we really haven't talked much about the LBYW Swan Song because there's so much still to dive into. And I'm sure there will be a time that'll be a show on Sportswire about. But what are you going to miss about LBYW and your career in that ring?
I'm going to miss the camaraderie with the roster. I enjoy developing a lot of friendships and relationships that will last a lifetime. I enjoyed bouncing ideas off the roster over and over and over again. I enjoyed that. I enjoy getting in the ring with some of the best people of all time. And that's something that there's no shame in that. You know what I mean? I enjoy being the champion for 455 days.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I was also a former world champion, and I was also a former tag team champion. Also, in fact, I was a tag team champion. I was Willster 2 belts. Remember? I mean, if you
I do remember you were here at that. Yes, I do. I remember that. Yes,
so, you were decorated. You know what I mean? So if everybody wants to run them out,
the face of America, 2 presidential administrations, your run coincided with, and you were a Triple Crown winner. No question that
Triple Crown winner. So the only title I didn't win was, I was the interstate champion also. That's right. So I won it all.
Yeah, Grand Slam.
Grand Slam
winner. Yeah, amazing.
Grand Slam champion. Now CJ can probably say that he's the Grand Slam champion. But you got to wonder, were you the Grand Slam champion because you made yourself the Grand Slam champion?
Hey, listen, win's a win in this sport, and I'm not going to go down that road, but I got a lot more comments. The Willster has turned a new leaf, a side we've never seen before. If there's an LBYW Hall of Fame in the future, he is undoubtedly going in it. Well-deserved, and once again, thank you for your contribution to LBYW, and I
appreciate that.
We're proud to have you in our Hall of Fame. You were in it twice, once with LBYW and once for yourself. Also, as the Willster said, Kurt Adams, our new face of America, and very well be recognized as the last ever U.S. champion. Yeah, it is a good point because we know that LBYW, this is the Swan Song, but he is the United States champion. So I guess, does that grant him the opportunity to defend that championship and carry the lineage? I would
say so. And in my opinion, he could probably defend it anywhere he wants at this point.
He works for SBW. That's his company.
He works for SBW. He could probably defend it down there in South Dakota if he wants. He could. You know what you ought to do, Kurt? This would be beautiful, man. This is just an idea. I'd even come down there. If you defended the title on the Pierre, South Dakota Capitol grounds, dude, that'd be the greatest thing of all time.
And the Psychotic Freak may want to take that championship from him. He could do it there against the Psychotic Freak.
He probably could. He probably will try. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, the Psychotic Freak. The more I think about that guy, the more pissed off I get, to be honest. So, I mean.
Well, he's got the freak math. Everybody talks about that freak math. That freak math. I mean, you were the face of America. You're my biggest clip I've ever had on TikTok, but he is the face of America.
The Psychotic Freak runs his mouth with his stupid freak math. Clearly, this guy never even graduated from high school.
He even wants to make math great again. He wants to make math great again.
Oh, he wants to make math great again. Okay, well, I've got a equation for him. Let me tell you a little story about a little boy, okay, who thought he knew shit but didn't know shit. That would be the Psychotic Freak. I'm going to tell you a little story about a little boy who was hearing voices in his head. They counseled him. They understand. Yeah, he can walk around running his mouth saying he's going to do this. He's got these group of people behind him. They don't give a damn about you, freak. You know, and now, to be honest with you, I mean, like I said, I really don't give a damn about you either. It's a shame how the whole thing went down. But if I get a shot at you, I'm going to beat you so bad. And I'm going to do it for all the fans. I'm going to do it for everybody that you thought turned on you. I'm going to do it because you almost mentioned my lady. You almost did. If you'd almost, if that, see, I draw your blood if you mention her, pal. So you keep running your mouth. I'm telling you. And this is not the Willster talking. This is William Henry by God Rivers talking.
Oh, these two men. I don't know. I wouldn't want to see these two men in a dark alley somewhere in North Dakota because hell may freeze over and we may get that. The Psychotic Freak and the Willster, these two men, let's just say they're not going to be exchanging Christmas cards anytime soon. Yeah. Let's just say these two men aren't going to be having a New Year's Eve party together. And these two men, well, listen, let's just say hell is frozen over and these two men may see each other and just avoid it like the plague. And hello to Ox. And he also wants to say, though, that we took your group and refined it to make it so much better. It's about absolute power.
It's about absolute power. Well, again, you know, it's like if you decided, you know, I really want to buy this like Nintendo because it's like the most powerful console of all time. But you go and buy it from Temu and you get the Pretendo. That's what you get.
Well, that's like now they sell these mini Nintendo bits.
Yeah, well, at least that's an actual Nintendo. But you go and you get it off Temu, and it's called the Pretendo. These guys are pretending. These guys are pretending.
How would they gift for somebody? There's somebody out there that, you know, I mean.
If somebody got me a crap gift like that for Christmas, and they went and got me some like $10 Nintendo built by a couple of Chinese dudes in Wuhan somewhere, I would send it back to them and tell them
that COVID started. I mean, you know, who knows? That could be the idea.
What happened, man.
The idea that keeps on
giving. Well, thank you to the Backstage channel. But they're probably in there trying to build some Temu Pretendo, and some dude probably didn't wash his hands in the bathroom and put his hands down his pants. And then he put his hands on the Pretendo, and then they shipped it out. And next thing you know, the whole damn country's infected, man.
Yeah, well, that's
and then Rudy Gobert was the first one, a sports figure. So he's an idiot too.
Yeah, he was. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
right. Bottom line is this, Chris, if I ever see you or Freak or whatever your stupid name is, whatever name you're going by, we ain't finished, brother.
It's fighting words on Sportswire tonight. Fighting words.
If you got the balls, which I know you don't, if you got the balls, you'll take your other three sorry ass losers that's in your group, leave them behind, and it's just me and it's you, and the only thing that's separating us, pal, is air and opportunity. All right.
Oh, listen. You know what? He may be done in the ring, but he ain't done by a long shot. Outside of the ring, and the Willster is fired up like we haven't seen him before. And this man has been here many times.
What respect has this idiot earned? Exactly. CTE is no joke. Clearly, this guy's walking around with it.
And hello.
Yeah, I mean,
Riley Bates is the best alive in the 605, according to.
once again, the freak has yet another man crush. And he was love. He would smoke me. You know what?
Yeah.
It would be darker than his skin is if it was smoke. So,
well,
I mean,
you know what? We're going to avoid the black.
This right here, I will give her credit. The best fan in the history of LBYW right there.
The most important fan that matters. And thank you, Jen.
Showed up. I think she also needs to be put in an honorary Oos Hall of Fame because that woman showed up.
We'll figure a way.
I was the weak link. Okay. No, I got out, and it took two of you idiots to actually step up and try to.
And you ain't doing
anything to me.
You're going to do nothing to him. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. That's what he says.
You remember when I bent that crutch over your back? You're the one that destroyed my ankle.
And Jen is saying that Reapers are a joke. You and Jen on the same page. I guess I'm not seeing.
You know what I would like to do? I saw that picture of her, and I'm man enough to do it because I don't care. I would like to get a pair of those glasses that she's wearing.
Yeah, she's got great glasses. She's on TikTok, by the way. Give her a follow on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, she streams games sometimes, and a lot of them tune in. I'm a free agent. I know you're too stupid to understand. He did bring up he is a free agent.
Oh, is he? Well, yeah. Oh, see, there he is. He always has been. He's always been a little lost puppy. Looking to see anybody. I'll take you in, little boy. Let me see if I can feed you some of this kibble that I have. Oh, yeah, freak. Just shut the hell up.
And man. He is not impressed at all by what you've said tonight.
He doesn't have to be impressed. I've dealt with worse than you in my life. I'm going to miss that too, Jenny. I appreciated it. I really did.
There's somebody here that'll answer your phone call.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I have no idea who you are, but okay.
And I want to say hello to my friend out there in the UK, the legendary Tribal Cheese, who we acknowledge, and the Tribal Cheese we expect to be back on Sportswire before the year is out. So
can we put the ones up for the Tribal Cheese? Is that what we do?
He is my Tribal Cheese, and he hasn't been here in about 9 months, and I think the time is coming for us to acknowledge him before the year is out, probably before the year is out. He and I have to have a chat, and he's also a few subscribers away from the good old 5,000. So if you'd like to give him a sub, he's at 4,970 some odd subs. And
nice, he's getting there.
Yeah, he's really famous. Yeah, he's friends with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. He's very tough. He was in the army. He was a shoot fighter, and he was a wrestler, and he's done a lot of things. And he's climbed.
Maybe the Willster needs to make a phone call to Mad Manx and
Mr. Tribal Cheese
over here, and maybe he can go beat Napalm's ass. So, I mean,
he may want to do that. He's a very big man. He's a very big man, and if he has time on his hand, give him a sub button in the meantime. And what else we have here? Showtime, interesting. Showtime's a very interesting fellow. And,
he's a big dude, honey.
Yes, the freak did call out a couple of other names, but as I said, we focused on Comatose because that was the man.
A moron. I can tell you somebody else who doesn't want who thinks he's an idiot, and that's Omen Black. And I got news for you. Omen Black would absolutely smoke the freak sorry ass.
Well, we're not going to go
my
there.
Match at Hellfest 5.
I think Omen Black was not in the name of the mouth of the psychotic freak. So I will say we're going to definitely.
Oh, you know he wasn't because he don't want that. You don't want that smoke machine turned on his way.
No. I think we're
right
going
now.
to move on from that. We're going to move on from that. It is his platform here. Let me put this in perspective. You say how Kirby Smart took stuff he's going right there for the jugular. He's going for the jugular here on Sportswire. It's been that kind of last 4 days on
what a dumb son of a bitch. What an idiot, boy. I mean, it's
and
almost like
he should be first in the LBYW Hall of Fame. He should be the first inductee.
Why? What have you done to
the freak math is worldwide. I think the freak math is worldwide. His heroically coming back in not one but two Haunted Hellfest. His tag team with Showtime was the biggest team, literally size-wise, in BYW history. His infamous or famous feud with you, him breaking into your house, him getting possession of those tag team championships. So that would be his case. I'm not saying he should be that, but that's going to be his reasons as to why.
First inductee. Okay, let's think about an inductee real quick into the LBYW Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Let's talk about a guy who was, I don't know, the LBYW United States champion for 455 days. A man that formed not one, but two of the most destructive forces in the history of backyard wrestling. A guy that actually brought almost 900 plus subscribers to our YouTube channel. How about a guy that took the company away from CJ and made it into what it is today? All right. How about the guy that was the world champion, who's a Grand Slam champion? I don't know. He seems pretty good. Sounds like a pretty good guy, man. He looks like he's done a lot in the business. Let's stick him in there. Why not? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the Psychotic Freak would be your thought of the first inductee. It sounds like the Willster would be consideration.
I would even induct this guy. I don't even know who the hell he is, but I'd induct this guy over the Freak. Come on,
see, actual appreciation. Psychotic Freak, I don't think is the leader of the
North Dakota. Is he, CJ? Who's the real leader of the Reapers now, huh? It sounds to me.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the leader. I think even I would hope for his sake.
I think he's a lap dog. I told you, see.
And you know where I'll be. Meet me at the abandoned hospital, my stopping ground. So you want to go and certainly give him a call or ring the bell if the bells work.
I probably can't give this dude a call because he probably can't pick his phone up because he's probably using Wi-Fi on Messenger. So,
well, you know what? I mean, listen, if you want to find him, that's where he's going to be. If the bell doesn't work, just, go walk right through.
I guess. Abandoned hospital.
And it's the legendary Chris Arruda.
Okay, Chris Arruda. There you go. We acknowledge Chris Arruda.
Absolutely.
I acknowledge Chris Arruda. There you go.
And also, you got the company because I beat Alpha, by the way.
There you go. Thank you, Chris.
And also, Mr. Freak would like to point out you were at the time the longest United States champion before Justice took that from him.
At the time. You see those little 3 words in that statement? At the time.
Yes.
At the time. Well, that time's over with, Freak. And all you're doing is talking this and that, running your stupid DS. I'll let everybody figure out what that means.
I got that, but you know what? I do have something for you. I want to give you something, and I do want to do that now because I've only got so much time with you, and I want to do it because even though we've done this, we'll do it anyway. It's your day once again on Sportswire.
Thank you, sir. That is nice. November 9th every year, everybody. And
today, yes, November 9th, and on the same day that the Montreal Screwjob happened, we have the Willster talking about, as you called, the Temu Reapers. I mean, that's what you said, not my words, but you've called them that. And it is your day. We'll give you this on to the next comment.
So what that means,
yes,
on November 8th, Tom, on the night of November 8th,
yes,
everybody leave out a glass of sweet tea and key lime pie for the Willster on November 9th.
You know what? We have a guy, Godric Sandwell. I think it's pecan pie, or I think it's pecan pie. It's the Angel's Food Cake. It's Angel's Food Cake, and for you, it's key lime pie. So we'll certainly compare. I think I'll go with yours. I'll go with yours. Also, point taken here from the Psychotic Freak, which I've mentioned for a lot here on many shows. Arruda should not be the first inductee because he did hire Scary Terry, which you did think was going to be a big deal.
That's the only time I'm going to agree with the Freak on this program. That's all. That's the only time. Scary Terry was an absolute disgrace. But other than that, he was a complete tax write-off. But the bottom he had to have been, man, because, yes, I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry, Arruda. I mean, that's the only time I'm ever going to agree with that moron Freak on this show. Ooh. That was a little bit of a...
over the last 2.5 years, that hasn't happened, and it'll probably never happen again. And Freak doesn't have any room to talk.
There you go. Well, what do you think of that, Freak?
Huh? There you go.
You got your ass whipped by a Hall of Famer.
So we've talked a lot tonight. We obviously have gotten the opportunity to hear about what you said about Kurt Adams. You called him a brother. You were wrong on a lot of things. You talked about if you had a daughter, you would want Kurt Adams to be that person that would marry your daughter. You also talked about the Reapers. This was not the group you intended for it to be. You called it a Temu Reapers, and you want to kill your creation. You've also talked plenty about the likes of Napalm. This is not him. You've also talked about how you don't want LBYW to end this way. We don't want this to be finality. You've also talked plenty about the Psychotic Freak. You've had, which you always do on here, and you've even had a few words to say for Riley Bates, who will be on here next at some point this month. And I'm sure he'll give his reasons why he joined this group. But is there anything else that you want to touch upon that we haven't got a chance to discuss tonight, especially after you did even say that you're leaving the door open to call others that may not feel that LBYW should end the way it did at Haunted Hellfest 5?
Yeah, I mean, I hate that it did that like that. I mean, it was a really good show. I mean, that was a good main event between all those teams. It really was. I mean, it was good the whole time. To have it end like that, man, to have those guys scream, and then you scream at the fans like that, you know, and then you got the Freak blaming the fans. The fans are the reason why he's even there. So you know what? You can walk around in your little fantasy world, Freak, but everybody knows you're just a baby back bitch. And it's fine. It's fine. You do what you want to do, but do not come across me. Don't, because you'll wish you didn't. It'll be the end of whatever career you got left, buddy. I don't have a problem. Hell, maybe I'll grab the Hall of Famer, man, and maybe the Hall of Famer and myself will come out of retirement and lay the smack down on him. You'd never know.
Whoa! You and the legendary, your history with Aruda teaming up with him. Oh my goodness. I would not have thought I'd see that day coming.
I never would have thought I'd see the day coming either, but Chris Aruda is one of the toughest dudes I've ever seen. I have a lot of respect for him. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's in multiple Hall of Fames.
He's in my Hall of Fame. He's in the Nexus Hall of Fame.
He's in multiple Hall of Fames. So this dude right there, I'm sure he wouldn't mind getting his hands on that miserable bastard and putting a couple of knuckles. Giving him a couple of knuckle sandwiches, you know what I mean, right to the noggin. Maybe they'll knock some sense into him, man. This dude's he's like the Adam and Eve channel that was squiggly lines that we all tried to look at when we were teenagers because we thought we were going to see something. That's the freak's mind right there. That's the freak's mind right there as a whole time period. The guy's an absolute squiggly line. And you want to talk about a wet fart? That guy is a walking wet fart, man. So, I mean, drizzling shits, man.
Well, you know what? You're getting an early dose of Anthony Steele tonight because the Willster just talked about Adam and Eve and wet farts. And yeah, we're going to move on to the next comment. And I actually walk in reality for the first time. Listen, that's going to be the point, though, is that guys like Riley Bates and the Psychotic Freak have made this group stronger. If they want to do other things, if they want to go run other places, they have that freedom. They're coming in with championship gold, and they're going to look to do what they did at the end of Haunted Hellfest 5, and that's going to be their selling point.
Yeah, well, you know, the Bates and the Freak, they are about as useless as a pair of basketball cleats.
Well, Bates is a veteran, though. I mean, Bates probably figured, you know what? I don't like Kurt Adams. We know his long documented hatred with Adams. And maybe that's a way to make some friends and ultimately, and he'll talk about this, maybe work on his own plan to ruin and end Kurt Adams. He's talked about that as well.
I think it's hilarious that Riley Bates, the same guy that ran CJ down after CJ signed him to a contract, saying he was going to beat CJ's ass and take the LBYW championship, now is on the same side as this moron.
If he can't beat him, join him. Maybe that's the point.
Maybe, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think Riley Bates, you sold out. Freak, you sold out, I guess. Whatever that is.
Well, Bates selling out, you might maybe from
I can understand. I mean, have you seen how tall the guy is? He's like 4 foot tall.
I mean, he's been said that. But Freak, Freak, I think.
I mean, just like.
But Freak said the fans did not appreciate what he did for LBYW. The fans did not appreciate what he's fought through. And he's fought PBS. He's fought the Reapers. And that's in part to why of where he is. And I mentioned Queen Just Ice throughout last show he was here and even a little bit tonight. And I think that that's in a way played part of his decision in joining the Reapers. That's what he spoke about. And he's evolved and he didn't sell out. I think his story is different than Bates because I think his reasons are what we alluded to, and he mentioned them here. I think the story with Bates, he'll explain, and I'll give him that opportunity, and we all want to hear that. But I think the Psychotic Freak, he's saying that he's not saying any more about that. He is saying no more about that, and I think that that's where we are. And you have said that you want to kill what you've created, and that remains to be seen how you're going to figure to do that, how you're going to figure it out. You have the holidays. Listen, we have holidays coming. You have the holidays to think about this and figure out when, how, and why or where. And at that time, I'm sure will come that we'll have to discuss it, and the people will say maybe.
I think it's hilarious that he said he bought in. Dude didn't buy in. He sold out, latched on to something else because he couldn't cut it by himself. Everybody knows that the tag team that he had, Showtime, was like the entire team. All Freak did was talk about drinking expired eggnog and hitting himself and eating glass. I mean, what kind of actual human being does that crap? The answer is nobody.
Well, I mean, he is the Psychotic Freak. I mean, there is no denying he is the Psychotic Freak for a reason.
One thing that Riley Bates and the Psychotic Freak both have in common, and they are undeniably two complete, utter morons. Everybody knows it. I mean, you got one of them that walks around with no shirt on half the time. I'm surprised. He's short. He's Hellman's white. Gets no chicks. And he probably lives in his mom's basement.
Well, we don't know that he doesn't get chicks or not. We wouldn't
take that back. He doesn't live in his mom's basement. He lives in the back of the mystery machine that he was doing that broadcast from about a month and a half prior.
You know what? That you would know better than I. I mean, I'm not in the business of talking about who and how many chicks they have. I mean, I was in a group chat with somebody. I sent a video of I do a radio show with, and they said I was in love with the guy that I sent the video for. I'm like, no, I just sent you the video, and the guy maybe didn't like the video. I mean, so people have their own opinions. We're gonna let that figure it out. So people are opinionated, and yes, and all right. So I got the point. I have a feeling you're gonna be on here once again to talk about how you're going to figure out to kill your creation. But in the meantime, you are going to hear from Riley Bates over the next week or two. He will be on here to discuss his side of things, and I'm sure we'll hear more from the rest of the LBYW locker room until the end of the year. And if you are here one more time, please go to the LBYW YouTube page. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram, is where you can also, most importantly, watch Haunted Hellfest 5 is that page, that link right there. That's where you can see the historic Haunted Hellfest 5, one of the greatest shows in BYW history from one of the greatest companies. And you can see the finality of the in-ring career of the Willster. But until then, it is your day. And I'd like to pass the baton to you for some final words and take it away, my friend.
Well, number one, I appreciate that, Reverend, for giving me acknowledging me on November the 9th, 2025 as Willster Day on this platform. Like I said, everybody out there, the night beforehand on November 8th, glass of sweet tea and a slice of key lime pie for the Willster, and he'll come get it from you like Santa Claus. Then, the last thing I will say, it's been my honor to be a competitor in LBYW and be a performer and a talent for 4 years plus. And I wouldn't change it for the world at this point. I hope that what we've all put out has entertained you, because that's what we're there to do. We enjoy it. We also do it because we also know how other people enjoy it. And we appreciate them, so, we know how much it means to a lot of people, so we can say that. I appreciate everybody I've ever been in the ring with, including somebody like Gyro. He's no longer with. I was the one that won the world championship from Gyro. That was about 100 degrees that day. I don't know how I survived. I was blowing up 10 minutes in. I was like, but I beat him for that. I was blown up 10 minutes into the match. One of the best one I've ever had. I'd say the best match I did have in that whole thing was probably against I'll give him the Freak at Haunted Hellfest. That was that was awesome. And then the match I had against the Alpha when I was dressed like a satanic priest that everybody booed. Because most everybody's Catholic up here in North Dakota. That's just the main religion up here. I'm a Southern Baptist. Come on.
Okay. But I remember growing up, my mother was born a Protestant. It was a big deal when she converted when I was 7 to being Catholic. It was a big deal. So I understand the whole.
Not everybody can say that in his career he was able to drink holy water out of a flask. Okay, so
you know what? That's why you're a Hall of Famer. That's why you are definitely you were the face of America. That's why you were.
We've had our highs and we've had our lows, but we've been able to get through it. We've had a lot of situations to where we've had to piece shows together, because people that couldn't make it or injured.
Yeah,
I was
hard
injured.
Subject to change. You know how it goes.
I mean, I was injured. I couldn't do anything for 2.5 months. You know what I mean? I was injured because of that stinking freak. So I basically took a crutch to his neck. How it is. Yes, Jenny, we're going to miss you guys too. But, hey, it's not like everybody won't get together and have a nice meal sometimes at B-Dubs and have fun. There's been.
Yeah. And also, by the way, happy birthday. By the way, very quickly before we sign off, happy birthday to Mr. Alpha. It was his birthday yesterday. He had celebrated a birthday.
Yes, his birthday. I believe his birthday is tomorrow.
I saw it on Facebook. I was confused. Happy birthday to the Alpha.
They had a party for him yesterday. I wasn't able to make it, but that was really cool. I wish I could have had a party like that.
I hope he has a great birthday. I was confused because I didn't see it pop up on my timer. Then I said it was a birthday, but we want to wish him a very happy birthday. We hope he has a wonderful day. He's a good man.
He's all right. He's all right. I mean,
I think he's more than all right. We got great. Listen, it's been great having you guys, and we're going to continue having you guys on. But I know that it's not going to be the same, but that there'll be a time and place. We'll do a show about it. But I think we've got a little more to talk about still with Haunted Hellfest 5, and I
think so. There'll be a time and a place for me and the Freak too. Just don't ever think you're safe, Freak.
Well, he said no way to find him. He said he's at that that hospital.
I'm not going to go fight anybody in an abandoned hospital. How stupid would that be? That would be completely dumb. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, we might not see eye to eye on a lot of things, but as far as CJ goes, he has a good family. He's a good husband. He's a good dad.
Good man.
His little daughter. Every time I'm the evil Willster, on camera, but every time I show up, little Desi runs right up to me and wants to jump at me. Wants Uncle Willster to give him this big gigantic bear hug, and I love children. I wasn't able to have any of my own, but I'm a good uncle to everybody. And hell, I spend money on my work family's kids too. So it's all right. It's cool. So he's a good dude. He's got an amazing mind for his age. He reminds me a lot of myself when I was his age. How much he enjoys wrestling. I still have that joy for it, but I'm not physically able to do it anymore. Sure. My body said it's time to stop. So and it's fine.
It happens.
And I need to get me a hat that says I'm happily retired and I'm not going to do a damn.
Well, you know what? We'll have to see, but that is the Willster. And before we sign off, we'll get to a few more comments. Yes, we're going to miss everybody. We're going to have a lot to talk about still. And thank you and happy birthday to the Alpha. We're going to definitely miss you, but you're going to be on, I'm sure, to talk about what is the future again. And we'll talk with Mr. Aruda as well before the year is out. And I think we'll talk with managers. But we have Riley coming on still. We have some other things. I think there will be a time and place when that comes. But in the meantime, it is Willster Day, and also Sistine we continue to keep in our thoughts and prayers, and we want to thank Ragnarok for that. And if you'd like to follow LBYW, as I always say, Instagram, you can check them out there. You can also check them out on YouTube, where you can watch Haunted Hellfest 5. And stay tuned here, because at some point in the next week or two, we will be hearing from Riley Bates, and he'll have his side of the story, and I have a feeling he'll be disagreeing with some of the things that Willster said. But until then, yep.
I'm also on Twitter too, by the way, at the real Willster. Somebody wants to follow me.
Oh, you know what? I got to do better with X promotion. Yeah, you're also on TikTok as well, but I can't show TikTok on my screen. It doesn't really work well. Yeah, well, it's okay. No, you're on.
Twitter's always more fun than Twitter's always much more fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on X. I should do more on X. Well, we'll figure it out. But people like Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, but we'll figure it all out. But that is now the man that is happily retired. He was the longest reigning LBYW United States champion. That is the Willster himself. He was the face of America. He's passed that baton to Kurt Adams. That's his story. And something tells me there's still a little bit more to be written before the final chapter is out. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all music and wrestling matters. We'll be back here a little after 8 o'clock on Sportzwire Radio. But until then, hit the sub button for LBYW. Follow LBYW on, like I said, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Riley Bates will be back on here soon. And we'll give the physical copy of that certificate to the Willster when we're off the air. And until then, we'll see everybody. Look, I don't have to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because we're going to be back on here in a little while, a rare 2-for-1. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll have more LBYW coverage here soon. I'll see everybody here in a little while on Sportswire Radio.